Let me be real with you for a second. If you are in your 30s and you have not done certain things with your money yet, the gap between you and financial freedom is getting wider every single month. Not because you are bad with money, not because you do not care, but because nobody sat you down and told you exactly what this decade demands from you financially. So that is what we are doing today. Your 30s are not a practice round. They are the actual game. The choices you make right now will either set you up for a life where money works for you or trap you in a cycle where you are always one bad month away from disaster. Let us talk about what needs to happen. The first thing you need to have tackled is eliminating consumer debt. All of it. Credit cards, car loans, personal loans, all gone. The only acceptable debt at this stage is a mortgage. Everything else is a wealth leak you cannot afford to ignore anymore. Here is why this matters so much right now specifically. Your 30s are your prime earning years. Your income is likely the highest it has ever been and still climbing. Every dollar going toward interest payments on consumer debt is a dollar that could be compounding in your investment accounts instead. If you are sending even $1,000 a month toward debt payments, that is $12,000 a year, potentially over $100,000 across a decade that never gets a chance to grow. Becoming debt-free is not just about relieving stress, though it does that too. It is about unlocking the full power of your income. Next, your credit score needs to be excellent. We are talking 800 or above. Some of you are thinking that credit scores only matter if you plan to borrow money. But here is the reality. Most people in their 30s will be buying a home or refinancing one. The difference between an excellent credit score and a merely decent one can cost you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of a mortgage. A single late payment can drop your score by over 100 points and follow you for up to 7 years. Pay on time, every time. Keep your credit utilization low, ideally under 10%. Do not open accounts you do not need. And whatever you do, do not close old cards just because you are not using them. Credit history length is part of your score. Now here is something that feels overwhelming, but is absolutely non-negotiable. You need a real financial plan that looks at least 20 to 30 years into the future. Your 30s are the first time in your life when multiple major financial priorities are all demanding attention simultaneously. Retirement savings, emergency funds, possibly a mortgage, maybe kids. And if you are not careful, all of these compete against each other, and none of them get properly funded. A solid plan connects all the dots. It tells you how much to save, where to put it, how to protect it, and how to make sure your future self is actually taken care of. Without a plan, you are just reacting. With one, you are building. Speaking of protection, your emergency fund needs a serious upgrade from what was acceptable in your 20s. Back then, 3 months of expenses was considered solid. In your 30s, you need 6 to 12 months of living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, accessible and untouched. Why so much more? Because the stakes are higher now. A broken furnace, a kid needing unexpected medical care, a job loss. These do not just inconvenience you anymore. They can unravel everything you have built. An emergency fund is not just a safety net. It is leverage. When you are financially secure, you can negotiate better at work, take calculated risks, and help the people you love without financially destroying yourself. Now the retirement number. By the time you turn 40, the target is having 3 times your annual salary saved for retirement. If you are earning around $60,000, that means roughly $180,000 already invested and growing. If you start there and keep contributing consistently, compound interest can turn that into over $2 million by traditional retirement age. But here is the part people miss. Every year you delay is exponentially more expensive to recover from. It is not linear. The math gets harder and harder the longer you wait. So if you are behind, do not spiral. Just get aggressive now. Increase your contribution percentage every time you get a raise. Do not let a single bonus go undeposited into your retirement account. The thing that will quietly destroy your wealth, even if you do everything else right, is lifestyle inflation. Your income goes up and somehow your expenses rise right alongside it. New car, nicer apartment, more eating out, better vacations. None of these purchases are necessarily wrong on their own, but if your spending scales with every raise you get, you will earn more than you ever imagined and still end up with nothing to show for it. The solution is automation. Every time your income increases, immediately direct at least half of that increase into savings or investments before you even see it in your account. Your lifestyle will not miss what it never had, but your future self will absolutely notice what you built. If you have kids, or plan to, you also need to start thinking seriously about their education costs. College tuition has been rising at twice the rate of general inflation for decades, and there is no reason to think that will stop. A 529 education savings plan lets your contributions grow tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified education expenses are also tax-free. Even saving a small amount monthly when your child is young gives compound interest 15 to 18 years to work. And if your child ends up not needing the full amount, the money can be redirected rather than lost. Estate planning is the one thing almost no one in their 30s wants to think about. But if you have kids or meaningful assets, skipping this is genuinely irresponsible. Getting a basic will in place, setting up a power of attorney, and making sure your beneficiary designations are up to date is not about planning for death. It is about making sure that if something unexpected happens, the people you love are taken care of by your decisions and not by a court. Basic estate planning is far less expensive and complicated than most people assume. Start simple. Just start. There is one more area that financial content almost never covers, but that has an enormous impact on your long-term wealth, and that is your health. The average person spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on healthcare over a lifetime. Preventive care, consistent exercise, decent nutrition, and enough sleep are not just wellness choices. They are financial strategies. Getting sick is expensive. Staying healthy is an investment. Your 30s are the window where the habits you build still come relatively easily. Do not wait until your body forces the issue. Here is what all of this comes down to. Your 30s are the decade where financial foundations either get built or get missed. You are earning more than before. Compound interest still has time to work dramatically in your favor, but the responsibilities are also bigger than they have ever been. Every one of these milestones matters, and they all connect. The debt elimination frees up cash flow. The emergency fund protects your investments. The retirement savings build your future. The estate planning protects your family. The health investment protects everything else. You do not have to tackle all of this at once. Pick the most urgent item on this list based on where you currently stand and commit to it fully. Then move to the next one. Small, consistent actions build real wealth. And the best time to get serious was yesterday. The second best time is right now. If this gave you a clearer picture of what your 30s should look like financially, drop a comment below telling me which milestone you are working on first. And if you want more straightforward financial content that actually makes sense, subscribe, because there is a lot more coming.